A long time ago in ancient India, there lived a young man named Rahul. He came from a wealthy family and had everything he wanted: the finest clothes, the tastiest food, and the most beautiful women. Yet despite all this, he wasn't happy. He felt like something was missing in his life. One day, Rahul heard about an amazing teacher who lived in the forest. This teacher was believed to be enlightened and had the power to bring peace and happiness to everyone who followed him. Intrigued, Rahul decided to find this teacher. After wandering through the forest for days, he finally reached the teacher's hut. The teacher's name was Gautam Buddha, and he was sitting under a tree in deep meditation. Rahul approached him and asked to be taught the path to happiness. Buddha looked at him with compassion and said, "My dear child, there is one habit that can change your life: the habit of mindfulness." Rahul was puzzled. He had never heard of mindfulness before. Buddha explained that mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment, being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. He told Rahul that mindfulness could help him overcome his anxieties, fears, and worries, and bring him peace and happiness. Curious, Rahul asked Buddha to teach him how to practice mindfulness. Buddha agreed and started teaching Rahul the art of mindfulness. The first lesson Buddha gave Rahul was to focus on his breath. At first, Rahul found it difficult. His mind kept wandering, and he struggled to focus. But with time and practice, he began to develop the habit of mindfulness. Later, Buddha taught Rahul to be aware of his thoughts and feelings. He told him to observe them without judgment, just to accept them and let them pass like clouds in the sky. Rahul found this challenging too, because he wasn't used to just observing his thoughts and feelings without reacting to them. But he persevered and continued practicing mindfulness. As time went on, Rahul noticed a change in himself. He felt more peaceful, relaxed, and content. He no longer needed material possessions or worldly pleasures to be happy. He found joy in just being alive. One day, Rahul returned to Buddha's hut and thanked him for teaching him the habit of mindfulness. He said he had never been so happy in his life. Buddha smiled and said, "My dear child, the habit of mindfulness is like a seed. If you nurture it, it will grow and flourish, bringing you peace and happiness. But if you neglect it, it will wither and die, and you will feel empty and dissatisfied." Rahul realized Buddha was right. The habit of mindfulness wasn't something that could be learned overnight. It required practice and dedication, but he knew it was worth it. Rahul decided to dedicate his life to practicing mindfulness and spreading Buddha's teachings to others. He became a monk and traveled around teaching others the habit of mindfulness and the path to happiness. Years later, Rahul returned to Buddha's hut and found him still sitting under the same tree in deep meditation. Rahul approached him and greeted him. Buddha opened his eyes and smiled. "My dear child, it is good to see you again. How are you?" Rahul smiled and said, "Thanks to you, I am living a life full of peace and happiness. I am spreading your teachings to others." Buddha listened attentively to Rahul's story and the impact of mindfulness on his life. He nodded and smiled with the satisfaction of knowing his teachings had helped someone find peace and happiness. After a while, Rahul fell silent and looked at Buddha with eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you, Master," he said. "You have given me the greatest gift anyone could give, the gift of peace and insight." Buddha smiled and placed his hand on Rahul's shoulder. "Remember, my dear child," he said, "the habit of mindfulness is a lifelong journey. It is not something to be taken lightly, for it requires constant effort and attention." As Rahul prepared to leave, Buddha stopped him. "Wait, my dear child," he said. "There is one more thing I want to share with you." Rahul turned to Buddha, curious about what he would say. Buddha closed his eyes and began to speak. "The habit of mindfulness is like a river," he said. "It flows continuously, always changing and adapting to its surroundings. Sometimes it is calm and peaceful. Sometimes it is turbulent and wild. But no matter what, the river always stays true to its essence, the essence of life." Rahul listened carefully to Buddha's words. "When you practice mindfulness, remember that you are like a river," Buddha continued. "You must flow with the ups and downs of life, always adapting and changing, but never losing sight of your essence." Buddha opened his eyes and looked at Rahul. "Now go, my dear child, and continue your journey. May mindfulness bring you peace and happiness for the rest of your life. Rahul bowed to Buddha and left, feeling full of gratitude and inspiration. He had received a great gift, the gift of wisdom and insight to guide him on his life's journey. As he walked, Rahul reflected on what he had learned. He knew that the habit of mindfulness wasn't something that could be learned in a day, but required daily effort and dedication. But he also knew that the rewards were worth it, for mindfulness had brought him inner peace and happiness that no material possessions could ever provide. And so the story of Rahul and Buddha's teachings continued, inspiring countless others to discover the habit of mindfulness and find peace and happiness in their own lives. As Buddha had said, the habit of mindfulness is like a river, always flowing, always changing, but always staying true to its essence, the essence of life. The true purpose of this story is clear. The habit of mindfulness can truly change your life. By being present in the moment with awareness and compassion, we can find inner peace and happiness that no material possessions can ever bring. We can take inspiration from Rahul and follow in Buddha's footsteps, practicing mindfulness every day and paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and actions. We can flow with the ups and downs of life, always adapting and changing, but never losing sight of our essence. In this way, we can live a meaningful and fulfilling life. Though the habit of mindfulness is not an easy one, the rewards are well worth it. Through mindfulness, we can free ourselves from stress, anxiety, and negativity, and find a sense of calm and clarity that can truly transform our lives. So let us take inspiration from Rahul and Buddha and incorporate mindfulness into our daily lives, making our lives more peaceful and happy. I hope this motivational Zen story has inspired you and encouraged you to develop the habit of mindfulness in your life. If you found this story inspiring, please support us by liking, sharing it with your friends,